taken this world from us, cast us into an
Hi everyone, this is Greedy Jack, and I invite you to watch the first episode that introduced Degenesis to beginner game masters and players, if you haven't yet. This video was created in response to frequently asked questions of new users who appear on the official Discord server. In addition to a quick presentation of the available books, materials and extras, this episode also includes some tips based on my personal experience with the system. Let's get started. We start our adventure with downloading the manuals. Degenesis in digital format is available as free to play. It means that we can download all the published manuals for free from the publisher's official website after registering an account. The manuals are mainly published in English, some also in German. You can also find printed Italian, French and Spanish translations from other editorials. So without knowing English, it will be very difficult to delve into the world of the game. After logging in to the website, we can go to the download section, where we will find all the official releases. The low quality version is available for download, where the illustrations have been compressed so that the file takes up less space. It also speeds up the loading of the file, especially on older devices or mobile phones. And of course high quality intended for screens with high resolutions. However, if you are interested in the paper version, the books can also be purchased in the official Sixmore Vodka store. The basic manuals are available only in the VOV edition, Vincit Omnia Veritas. This is a collector's limited edition containing the revised edition of Rebirth, the Game Master screen, 12d6 dice, unique art prints and the world map, all exclusive to this edition. When ordering any of the textbooks, pay attention to the language version selected. Now, let's move on to an approximation of the content of all the official manuals. I will not focus here on specific chapters, but on the general purpose of the item. The list is up to date at the time of recording. We start our journey with the two large volumes, Primal Punk and Catharsis, which are the core of the Rebirth edition. The first one can be called a lore book. It contains the history of the world, descriptions of the cultures and cults, everything that is necessary to build the world by the Game Master. The second volume is mainly a mechanics book that contains the rules of the game, character creation, item tables and descriptions of exemplary enemies. The next item that should be of interest to you is Artifacts. It is a set of additional optional rules, including many related to survival, combat, healing, energy management, or extending the character creation process, thanks to which it will be easier for you to write the story of a character or group, a must for every game master. We move on to Jahamet's trilogy, a series of setting and adventure books ready to be played out or inspire the creation of your own campaigns. The adventure structure resembles a theatrical script. The stories are described in great detail, broken down into acts and scenes. Finally, the newest item, the newly released Justician, a 2-volume monster consisting of the Righteous Fist, describing the largest metropolis in the New World and its history, and Moloch, containing the description, history and motivation of important figures tied to the city, but relevant to the Protectorate and the rest of Europe. How to start? First of all, to open the manuals, you must have an application for viewing PDF files. I recommend one that has a built-in bookmark support. Thanks to these links, we can quickly move between sections. Standard Adobe Acrobat is enough, but there are many alternatives. You will definitely find something for your target platform. We start with the Primal Punk textbook. As for the content, it has been grouped into several main chapters. We start with the mysterious Jackal prophecy, which artistically presents the encrypted history of the world of the Degenesis. I recommend coming back to this part from time to time and checking if we manage to catch more references to the characters and motifs. Then we have a short introduction and summary of the most important information about the world and Eschaton and what the asteroid swarm brought to Earth. Then the regions of Europe and Africa, hereinafter referred to as the cultures, are described, as well as the structures and social groups that separated during the construction of the New World Order, called cults. At first glance, the structure of the textbook seems quite chaotic, but I advise you to read it in the order designed by the authors. Do not skip paragraphs or entire chapters in search of materials useful only for the planned adventure. When reading, I recommend paying special attention to the inserts, which may initially seem random information completely unrelated to the recently read paragraph. However, they are very often bridges connecting events and characters between chapters, bringing everything together. Finally, we have a history chapter that provides a timeline of major events both before and after Eschaton. The chronological presentation allows us to organize the information more easily. At this point, I would also like to point out to carefully looking at symbols or illustrations. Despite the original function of beautifying the textbooks with its aesthetic values, visualization of the world and making the reception more pleasant, they also contain a lot of hints about history, characters and metaplot. The RPG player does not live by the story itself, so the second position we reach for is Catharsis. As mentioned earlier, the second volume of the Rebirth Edition set contains information mainly about mechanics, like attributes and skills, performing tests, conducting fights and so on and so on. The character creation process, code-specific equipment and more are also described here, as well as items tables, weapons and equipment, upgrading mechanisms, and an entire chapter on the effects of use or the mechanics of collecting and producing burn. At the end of the book, there are chapters not intended for the eyes of inquisitive players, at least beginners. In the chapter From Hell, the Game Master will find descriptions of fauna and flora filling the new world, descriptions of clans, often hostile, that can be used in own campaign. The icing on the cake is a short adventure Embargo, which can be used as introductory sessions to the world of Degenesis. The last item that I recommend to know before starting your campaign is Artifacts. It contains extended rules for creating the so-called legacies, will help you prepare more believable backstories for your characters and provide hooks for additional plots. Scars are also interesting, mechanics and tips helping to build a group identity. The book covers many other topics such as the rules of survival, healing, special damage, additional combat rules, energy management and economy. There are also descriptions and tables for new items and powerful artifacts. The creators have also prepared additional potentials, unique skills of your characters. They have been collected in one place along with the potentials from Catharsis, so you don't have to jump between the textbooks and look for differences. At the end of the book you will also find chapters on the mechanics of collecting resources from Psychonaut corpses and their use, as well as they describe memetics mechanics, which I recommend reviewing later, being more experienced with the Degenesis system. Now I would like to present the often overlooked materials available on the official website of the game. In the Universe tab you will find short stories describing events, characters, cultures and cults. Some of them are contained in textbooks, however there are many stories published only on the website. Additionally, an interactive world map is available where we can search for locations mentioned in the manuals, check related characters, referred to on the website as icons. By taking advantage of the additional filtering functionality, it can be very easily used to prepare content for players that does not contain major spoilers. Recently added, the interactive timeline is a very interesting feature where all the events described in the textbooks are listed along with a reference to a specific item. Thanks to filtering, we can trace specific incidents that happen in a specific age, in a chosen area or related to a cult that interests us. The timeline takes some time to load, so don't refresh the page. Let's move on to accessories. First of all, the dice. The mechanic uses 6-sided dice and the maximum number of them used for one throw is 12. So I recommend that you buy one set for yourself, the other for your players. If you are the lucky ones who bought VOV, you already have the one set. Chessex kits are also very popular and affordable. Character sheets are available in 3 variants and can be downloaded from the website in the Awesome Sheets section. The variant I recommend to use is compatible with artifacts and has been improved and extended with additional fields. The deluxe version is the same card but in gold and black colors. It looks really wonderful, but it's not very practical and definitely not printer friendly. Beginning Game Masters will also find a summary of the rules in the form of a Game Master screen or a cheat sheet in the form of an A4 size page. The official Game Master screen is added to the VOV edition and is available for download from the Awesome Sheet section. Additionally, on the official Degenesis server on Discord platform, a Community Edition version is available for download also. Additionally, to create a character, you can use the generator available on the website after logging in. It is highly interactive and has character creation rules implemented in accordance with Catharsis and artifacts. And finally, the character card can be exported to PDF format and printed. The functionality of the generator will be presented in a separate video. The creators also provide a lot of additional elements, such as maps or resource packages that can be used to create your own materials. I recommend that you browse the maps and do-it-yourself section in your free time. Remember to use the download button when downloading maps, character cards and other materials, and not to save the displayed previews. Additional resources and tools for the Game Master can be found on the Degenesis community website at degenesis-cluster.com. From name generators, quick NPC stats to maps and even supplement. Due to COVID-19, local gaming is more and more often replaced by sessions by VTT. There are currently two options available. The first is the free plan for Roll20. There are 2 character cards, but I recommend using the advanced version. The second is the purchase of very promising Foundry software. The system is still in the development phase, but despite some bugs and deficiencies, it is already functional enough to run campaigns. If you are just starting your adventure with Foundry, check out my guide. You can find the link in the description. It takes some time to get to know the world of Degenesis and feel confident as a master of the game. The amount of detail in the descriptions of religions, cults, characters, and timeline events can be overwhelming at the very beginning. Therefore, I recommend that you leave Jahamid's trilogy on the shelf, physical or virtual, to start and focus on shorter adventure. Remember that not every session and not every story has to touch the metaplot. The available material for exploitation is so abundant that it is possible to successfully prepare an engaging campaign for many hours, in any style, based on just one region or cult. However, if you want to take advantage of ready-made adventures, there are 3 ways available for you. The first is Embargo, which is included in Catharsis. I recommend that you read the entire story even if you don't want to use it. It will bring you a little closer to the structure and writing style that you will encounter later while reading the trilogy. The second one is Harm's Way, available for download from the website in PDF format. It is a very good introduction to the campaign around Justitian. Before playing this scenario, in addition to the basic manuals, I recommend that you read The Righteous Fist, Volume 1 of the Justitian, which contains material about the Protectorate. The third way is an adventure prepared by the Degenesis community provider, available for download at degenesis-cluster.com. In addition to the adventure itself, in provider we will also find a summary of cultures, cults, and very useful advice for game masters prepared by Erwan Rudeau. That's it for today. I hope that at least some of the information was useful to you. Remember to support the creators by buying printed manuals, official gadgets, outprints, or by making small donations through the Degenesis website. I also invite everyone to the official Discord server, where a lot of new fans have been arriving recently. Thanks everyone for your attention and see you soon.